Hello, hi, and welcome. I'm Laura Brunton, the Total You Coach, and I have got such a treat for you today. One of my passions and my real purpose in life is supporting other women and seeing other women rise. And I've got such a treat. I've got the fabulous Suze. Hi, Suze.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, my friend. I am so good, thank you. We were just laughing backstage in the studio that we both brought the shirts that are pretty
They're a
clashy.
little flashy.
So apologies if your eyes are like, oh Laura, so many prints. What's happening here? If you were watching this, come and say hi. We're streaming through StreamYard, which some of you might have heard of. Really cool platform. I'm not getting paid for this, obviously. That will beam us out to LinkedIn and to Facebook. But what it does do is if you haven't given it permission to share your name, we don't know who you are. So I can see we've got somebody on Facebook. So just pop us your name and who you are. And we're so pleased that you're with us today. And obviously, if you're catching this up on the replay as well, give us a hashtag replay and let us know where you are in the world. So, Suze, for now, without further ado, I think you were actually one of my first paying clients for sure. So, I'm so grateful. Thank you for helping me pay the mortgage. Going
You're
back
welcome.
over a good, year and a half, 15 months now.
Yeah.
Um, Brilliant. We've got Louise, who is fabulous. Louise is a brand photographer who has actually done both of our branding shoots, hasn't she? I will share her details later. She is wonderful.
So nice to see
Um,
Louise on here too.
yeah, for sure. So, Suze, a woman of the world, the most intriguing, beautiful accent. Tell us a little bit more about you and what your history is.
Sure. So I guess I'll start at the beginning. It always ends up being quite a long story, but I'll keep it short. So you're probably wondering where I'm from with my crazy accent. I was born in Singapore, which is where I lived on and off for about 20 years. So I guess you could say I'm Singaporean in a way, but I guess not from a residential residency perspective. Um, Lived in Germany for a while, so I'm half English, half German. Again, don't sound like either. And then when I was 18, I moved to Australia, so similar to Laura, and studied there, traveled, worked, then moved back to Singapore. And then after 7 years, decided to move here back home, I guess, in a way. And my parents live here, my brother's in Germany. And yeah, I've been working in the tech industry for the last 15 years. So across those three continents, been helping companies be successful in using software, various different types of what we call software as a service, kind of in the digital transformation space. And what I realized a few years ago was that my passion as well is in helping the people behind these companies. So understanding what makes people tick, understanding, where they want to head to, and really helping them to get there. So it's kind of a nice marriage between what I do in my day life, and
Yeah,
what I'm now looking at setting up, which is around coaching. That was a short
fantastic.
version, but I'll just pause there.
And listen, so interesting. I'm constantly saying to you, have you been here? Have you been to this country? Yeah, been there, gone there, been there, done that. Truly a woman of the world. And I know from hearing from your clients as well, Suze, that all of that life experience just gives you such an enriched and fresh perspective, doesn't it? That you can take forward with your clients as well. Out of curiosity, where's your next holiday planned? I'm always so envious of you.
So I'm going to Malta next week.
Nice.
So first time in Malta. I'm trying to take off more countries in Europe because
Yeah.
most of my life has been in Asia Pacific. But yeah, so Malta, and then I'm going to Israel, to Tel Aviv, also my first time. And then I booked, yeah. Anyway, I won't keep rambling, but I do love traveling, which is another similar trait to you and I.
Yeah.
That kind of keeps me inspired, and
Mhm.
adventure and fun is one of my values. So kind of
Yeah,
try to live by that.
absolutely. And it's so good that with your lifestyle, you've been able to curate it in a way that it all works for you. So you can touch on what all of your interests are, all of your passions, one of the things that you and I explored early on was the whole portfolio career, or if you want to sound a bit sexier, tapas career, where you can have a little bit of everything. How do you find that works in reality, where you've got your full-time career in tech and then the coaching element, and then you as an individual and all of your loves and your hobbies and so on?
So I guess, yeah, I realize that I thrive on variety and I thrive
Yeah,
on being, it kind of correlates to the travel part and adventure. So I thrive on being in different environments, and I love my home,
yeah.
but I also love being in other places and working, collaborating with other people. In terms of like the tapas portfolio career, I've just had to be really I guess I've just had to compartmentalize my time. So,
Hmm.
during the day, 9 to 5, so to say, is my day job and
Yeah,
what I do in the tech industry. And I can, to an extent, do that from multiple places. So I like the fact that we have a hybrid workforce. So, I can
yeah.
work from the city, or I can work from home, or go to a co-working space, or work remotely in another country.
Hmm.
Um, and then, I try to do, the other things. Like at the moment, I'm trying to set up websites and social media channels and, drive a bit of awareness around my business. And so I'm doing that
Yeah,
after hours. And then on the weekends, I'm similar to you, a bit of a course junkie. So I do courses all the time, but this one I'm finishing the last part of my coaching course, which is higher professional
yeah,
coaching skills, which is part of my master's. So you kind of have to weave it around, and I don't do it perfectly. Like one thing
yeah.
that I do that you help me with is kind of getting me to focus on what really is important, because otherwise I can get overwhelmed if I try to do it all,
Yeah.
which I sometimes try, and that doesn't always go well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And how many of us watching, let me know, have you been there as well, where you want to do all of the things? And what I'm curious to ask you about as well, Suze, is your interpretation of what it's like to operate primarily in the online space now and in the coaching world as is now. And that kind of juxtaposition between being a business owner and also an entrepreneur, because all of the things you've just explained to me there, I very much so see you as being an entrepreneur where you've got lots of different sources and passions and income streams and so on that will help you to have this really full and vibrant life. How much of has coaching played a part for you in you being coached? Where has that really helped you?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's been the biggest part, as to why I'm even here today. So I moved to the UK 5 years ago, and for a bunch of reasons. One, to be closer to my family. I hadn't really lived in
Mm.
the same country as my parents since I was 13. I went to boarding
Wow.
school, then I moved to Australia, and then and they're getting older, so I kind of wanted to invest time in being here.
Mhm.
And for various other reasons. But when I moved here, I kind of, one thing that I sort of realized is that I had these like repetitive patterns in my relationships. And I went to a talk once, and there was this lady that gave a really inspiring talk. And I approached her at the end of it and said, I'd love to work with you. And she was, she runs her own health detox company and is also a coach as
Mhm.
well. And her name's Geeta Sidhu Rob, and she's been amazing for me and really got me on that journey of working with a coach. And I worked with her for initially 6 months, and then we extended that. So probably I would say 18 months in total.
Yeah.
And that just really transformed me as a person and got me on that journey of my own self-awareness. And
Yeah.
it's funny because I always used to think that I was a very self-aware person, but I realized I was very aware of like my surroundings and my environment, but not myself. And I didn't understand why certain patterns kept happening. And I didn't really understand, yeah, I guess a lot about human dynamics. And um, so yeah, so that's probably how it all started.
Yeah. And Gitu is absolutely fantastic. If you don't follow her already, I will tag her. And she's such a breath of fresh air, isn't she? So I'm so pleased that I had that experience. And that's the thing often with coaches, Suze, let's be honest, isn't it? It's such a personal experience. And what might be attractive to one person could completely put another person off. And I am so pleased that with you and I, we did the initial discovery call, didn't we? And we actually met through your charity event through Microloan, which I'd love you to take us through in a moment. And I would say with anybody who's considering coaching, make sure you at least have a sit down conversation with the person before embarking on it and make sure that are your values aligned? Do you like the way that they work? And then also for you to be really clear on what are your intentions, what do you want to get out of the relationship, and also how much are you willing to put in to? Because as Susan and I well know, you can have so many different styles of coaching, but the clients that we've worked with and with you and I, where we've seen the biggest transformations, is where you go all in and you're really clear, right, this is how I want to move the needle in my life. I perhaps might not know what the destination looks like or how I'm going to get there, but Laura, this is where I want to get to. So honestly, I praise you so much. You've been a pleasure to work with. Um, Tell us more about Microloan and about the fantastic adventure that you've got coming up
Yeah,
this year.
absolutely. I just wanted to say to what you said just now, I totally like echo and agree with, the chemistry test, as we call it, that first call, whether it's 15 minutes, 30
Mm,
minutes is so important. And I always say to the clients that I work with that, coaching is an opt-in thing. Like there has to be something that you want to change. Either it's you've got a goal or you have a challenge that you want to work
yeah,
on, but it can't be something where the coach is forcing something on the client. If you don't have something tangible that you want to work on, then it's yeah.
yeah.
So I agree with what you say. And yeah, so Microloan is a charity based in sub-Saharan Africa. So we support women who are on less than £1 a day in Malawi, Zimbabwe, and Zambia. So what we basically do is so I'm part of the committee, so we raise funding, and that funding then goes towards helping them set up a bank account. We then have trainers that go and train them in their community to build their micro businesses, and then we help to embed them within a community. So it's kind of very similar to what you and I are doing, and it's just helping those women, who really are below the poverty line. So I've been working with them for 2.5 years, and I've always wanted to go and meet them because I personally feel like when you can tangibly like see the fruits of your labor and see how you're impacting these women, that to me is like the most heartwarming thing.
Yeah.
So I was going to do this track 2 years ago. There's a whole group of women that are there now. But for COVID and all of that didn't happen this year. Last year or the year before. So, and I couldn't make this year. But there is a challenge in October, which is a Zambezi River Challenge, where we go whitewater rafting for 4 days. I watched a documentary last night with my dad, and I was looking at these rapids going, oh my God, is that going to be me? That does not look safe at all, but whatever. And then at the end of the whitewater rafting, we'll meet the women and spend a day with them. And so, yeah, super excited. So I'm raising some funds for that. So, yeah.
Fantastic. And tell us about what you're doing that's super special about that challenge. It's not just a case of raising funds, you're also giving something back on top of that,
Yeah.
aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm raising 1,500. That's going to go to support them. It's spending some time with them, and it's just being able to meet them, I think, is just fantastic. So I know it's going to be a teary moment.
It must be for sure. And if people want to work with you as well, Suze, you're giving people an opportunity to have a one-off session with you, and then you're going to donate 100%
Yeah.
of that payment to the charity as well.
Yeah. So for
Fantastic.
90, yeah. So for I wasn't ready to do a pitch, so this wasn't set up, but thank you.
I like
Thank
to
you,
push you
Laura.
out of your comfort zone.
But if you are interested, for £97 for an hour, I will do one-on-one coaching for you, and all of that will go to microloans. So I've got a donation
Brilliant.
page already set up. So if you're interested, then just let me know. Either email
Yeah.
Laura or myself. My focus with coaching, I'm a very introspective person, so I believe that when someone understands themselves on a deeper level, then they have choice in the kind of life that they want to live. So whether it's being a better leader, whether it's showing up better in their relationships, or just being intentional about the kind of lifestyle you want that relates to your values and so forth. So, yeah.
Excellent. I'm sure they'll get snapped up for sure. And it's a great idea as well. If you don't want the coaching session yourself, you can gift it and donate it to a team member, a partner, a loved one, somebody that you know would really benefit from coaching with a super highly qualified and amazing woman like you've got in front of you right now with Suze. Brilliant. So, Suze, very selfishly, I would love to talk about the Ignited Leader Collective. So, for those of you watching, hello again, welcome in. And I have created a 6 month high touch, intimate mentorship program for women who are business owners and women who are looking to grow their businesses authentically. So, this is for you if you really want to work on your confidence levels and you want to make sure that you're going on the right path, you're going in the right direction, and you're doing it in a way like Suze explained. When you're super bright, when you're a high achiever, when you've always been used, especially in the corporate world, to having goals, meeting them, smashing them, on to the next one, on to the next one. When you step into that world of being your own business owner, it can get quite lonely at times, can't it? There's like so much tech, there's so many people that are so much further on than you, and you think, then you start to worry, don't you? Thinking, what is my place in this world? How do I add value? How am I going to impact in my own way? So, the Ignited Leader Collective is this high touch mentorship program where Suze is one of the founding members, which I am over the moon about. And we kick off this week in earnest. So, Suze, what was it that attracted you to the collective?
Yeah, sure. So we started working together 18 months ago, which was when I found you through Microloan. And, just to give some context, Microloan ran a 24-hour coachathon. So you could pick from, I don't know, was it like 100, 500 coaches? And you could get an hour with them, and the same sort of principle. And then all of it went to charity. And I was kind of looking to get back into coaching or getting the support from a coach. And, I was at a different stage in my life at the time, and was going through a bit of a rough patch in a relationship. And I saw Laura's profile and was just kind of drawn to her. How can you not be? And and yeah, I mean, our chemistry test, it was like we were best friends in the first session. We both went deep quickly, which we realized we have very similar values. So we worked together, or you and I worked together for, I think, 6 months initially. And, my focus at the time was self-love, and really, this was coming out of like one of the many lockdowns beginning of last year. And I learned so much about myself through that process, and you were such a champion. So fast forward, I always knew that, like, coming out of that lockdown and that phase in my life, that I was destined to do something else. And I knew that I was passionate about coaching, but I didn't, at the time, I didn't really have the confidence. Maybe, I don't know if confidence is the right word, but I didn't know how to turn it into a reality. And we started speaking a little bit about, working together towards the end of last year. And then when did we start working together again? Was it beginning of this year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you approached me about the collective, and it almost just felt like the universe was coming together, because I'm so, like, one of my values is connection and community as well. And I was just looking for a platform to have a community and to meet like-minded women that are in the same wavelength, that want to do great things, good energy. And it was like you served it on a platter. And so yeah, I guess that's what attracted me to it. And it is an investment, but like, when I first started working with Gita, I know that was a big investment as well. But I know that back then I was like, well, people spend so much money on their personal health or, the travel or whatever, but what about your mental health? And so to me, this is now about my business. So this is well worth the investment.
Absolutely right. And I echo everything what you've just said as well. I think it's so powerful when you are around other people who are walking a similar path to you. And as we know, that there'll be some people that are further down the path than you. So you can get the benefit of their experience and their wisdom, and you can get really practical, just real life experience, which
Yeah.
is what a lot of us crave sometimes, isn't it? We often don't want abstract concepts or, well, yeah, you could do this or you could do that. It's like, look, I did this. This is what worked really well. In hindsight, I would change X, Y, and Z. And then you've
Yeah.
got the ability to then go, that makes complete sense to me. I'm going to run with that. Um,
Yeah. And you just touched on something with like the practical side, because like community is one thing. But sometimes, you need as a business owner, and if you're new or you're further down the path, you kind of are looking for like practical advice. And
yeah,
for example, yesterday, like, even though I work in tech, there are a plethora of different platforms that you can use for websites, for marketing, for email distribution. I mean, it's kind of overwhelming.
yeah,
And I spent an hour with Jeff, your husband, yesterday, and he really just helped me kind of narrow down what to focus on. And it was just having someone to bounce ideas off. And that to me is the value add with the collective as well. It's being able to bounce ideas off other people.
absolutely. And it's known how to play to your strengths, i.e., the coaching, the developing connections with people, supporting people through their journey, and then recognizing what's not in your zone of genius.
Mm.
So Sue's obviously spoke about my husband there. Hello, Jeff, who's got the baby at the moment, holding the fort down so that I can do this. Jeff is absolutely one of my now not so secret weapons and biggest supporters and business assets as well. So what a lot of women find, not just women, guys who are setting up the business, and you might know all of the standard Microsoft packages and Teams and SAP and all of the good, Jeff, for sure, all of the systems that you use perhaps in your corporate life. But like Sue says, there's so many bolt-ons that you need to be able to run your business and scale your business and do so sustainably without you having to spend so much time doing admin and just crappy little tasks that don't get you anywhere. So my husband's absolute strength is the fact that he's invested so much time, energy, and money in working with some of the best people in the game. Russell Brunson, who's the founder of ClickFunnels, Pat Flynn, and probably a million other people that I can't remember right now. He's going to tell me off for, but all of the knowledge that he's got, he can then impart to my clients. Likewise, just the same as when we do our coaching, we give our clients shortcuts as well. So I think that's real value add, and that's something that the collective members get as a bonus too, is time with him to really look at what the online strategy for your business is and how we can get you out there so that you can get in front of your dream clients easier, quicker, and with less pain for sure. So I'm so glad that worked out. It's quite
Sorry, did I
interesting
let
now.
the cat out of the bag that he was your secret weapon?
I've never actually spoken about it publicly, but I really should do. You've got to play to your strengths, haven't you? And I honestly, like, I know what I'm good at. I know what my lane is, but him being able, I'll share the link for the collective on here too, and he's helped so much and build that page. And I would have had to spend either a lot of time or a lot of money with somebody else to get me to where I am now. So absolutely use it. Use all of the kind of the experience and the assets that you've got to hand. Suze, you are an absolute joy. I for anybody who is looking for coaching, like we said, it's such a personal experience. So give myself a shout if you're interested in the collective experience coming up. If nothing else, take advantage of Susan's fantastic offer that she's got at the moment with the charity event with Mike Malone coming up too. Yep, for sure. Brilliant. Practical support of the mentorship. And that's the thing with mentorship as well, isn't it? And a lot of you will know the difference between a mentor and a coach. At least with a mentor, it's about being able to have a real practical hat on and being able to walk hand in hand with your client to get them to the right solution for them too. So I'm so, so pleased that that's been of value. Suze, I will share all of your details. Do you have any parting comments or anything else that you'd like to share with the wonderful, wonderful people who are watching us right now?
No, I think just that, it's been, I never knew what coaching was until a couple of years ago, and it's been a phenomenal experience for me. So I would totally vouch for you as a coach and the collective, and I'm excited to see how it, continues to form and meeting everyone in person in the next couple of months too.
It's going to be awesome. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much to everybody who's watched this live or who's watching on the replay. We'd love to hear from you. Any feedback, any questions that you've got, we are your ladies and we are here to support you. But for now, I will love and leave you. I'll just leave you actually with the link for the collective. So if you type in www.laurabrunton.com/collective, you'll get to see all of Jeff's hard work in there and all of the full details about the programme as well. All you need to do is just reach out to me and let's just have a cuppa and let's have a chat and let's see if we're a fit this next stage.
It's like we're on a news channel when they have like the captions that go.
Yeah, see, this is all the thing that you get as well. But it's stuff like unless you know somebody who's done it or you see it somewhere, and there might be people watching that's like, how have you done it?
Exactly.
This is what we share, isn't it? Which is all of the practical tips so that you can grow your business and have fun doing it as well and keep up with the times too. Okay, so for now, we're going to love and leave you. Have the most wonderful day and we hope to see you all soon. Thanks again, Suze. I really appreciate your time today.
Thanks. All
See you
right.
soon. Thanks. Bye, everyone.